Good evening. My name is Ryan Brown. I am Senior Patrol Leader for Troop 76 and Master of Ceremonies this evening. We welcome all Scouts, leaders, parents, friends, and distinguished guests to this Eagle Court of Honor for Chris Anderson. Please rise while the Honor Guard escorts the candidate to the front. Remain standing while we pledge allegiance to the flag, followed by the Scout Oath. Hand over heart or Scout salute. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
On my honor.
I will do my best to do my duty, to guide my country, to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Thank you. By the authority vested in me by the Connecticut Rivers Council and the National Council of Boy Scouts of America, I declare this Court of Honor convened. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, mothers and fathers, friends, and honored guests, I introduce Eagle candidate Chris Anderson. Now, Jacob Cornelius will lead us in an invocation.
Heavenly Father, we ask that you bless this gathering of family and friends from near and far who have come together today to honor and celebrate your Chris. His earnings of the highest rank in scouting, that of Eagle. Father, we also ask your blessing on Chris's family, scout leaders, and fellow scouts who have guided and supported Chris along the path. Amen.
To the candidates for the Eagle Award. This is the climax of your scouting effort. When you joined Troop 76, you set your goal for Eagle, the highest award in Boy Scouts. The award is earned through the dedication to the scouting principles and completion of all the requirements, the most notable being the Eagle Project. For you, the time has arrived to receive this award. While you have traveled along the road towards your Eagle, you have come to realize that it is a road that you do not travel alone. You have had the help and support from your Scoutmasters, many assistant Scoutmasters, fellow Scouts, parents, family, friends, and members of the community. It is important that we understand the meaning of the Eagle Badge and the effort it takes to achieve it. This is an occasion of pride as well as a time for serious reflection. You have distinguished yourself through your quality performance and active service in Scouting. You are trained in practice and leadership and are favorably influenced by the understanding that we must be responsible to our fellow humans and give back to society. Great people from prehistoric times to the present day have felt the appeal of a majestic eagle. To the Egyptians, the eagle was the messenger of the gods and a symbol of eternal life. To the Romans, the eagle was the carrier of Jupiter's thunderbolts and a sign of force. To the Indians, the eagle symbolized valor and victory. Today, the eagle is a living symbol of courage and freedom and inspires Americans. It represents the ideals on which we base our goals. In 1911, the Boy Scouts of America chose the eagle for their symbol and the highest achievement in scouting.
The primary responsibility of an Eagle Scout is to live with honor. To an Eagle Scout, honor is the foundation of all character. He knows the vast importance of living honorably and the significance of setting a positive example for other Scouts. Living honorably reflects credit upon his home, his troop, and his community. May the white of the Eagle Badge remind you to always live with honor.
An Eagle Scout is loyal. He is true to his family, Scout leaders, his school, friends, and his country. His loyalty to his troop and other Scouts is demonstrated in his willingness to pitch in and carry his share of the load. His loyalty conveys devotion to the community, to country, and to one's ideals. May the blue of the Eagle Badge always inspire your loyalty.
An Eagle Scout is courageous. Courage has always been a quality by which humans measure themselves and others. To the Scout, bravery means not only courage to face physical danger, but the determination to stand up for what is right. He looks forward to each day by accepting his responsibilities and trusting his faith in fellow men and women of his world. May the red of the Eagle Badge always remind you of courage.
An Eagle Scout is cheerful. An Eagle Scout always wears a smile. The red, white, and blue ribbon is attached to the scroll of the second class award, which has its ends turned up in a smile. May the scroll of the Eagle Badge always remind you to be cheerful.
An Eagle Scout has responsibility to give service to others. He extends a helping hand to those that aspire to follow the Eagle Trail. Just as others helped him in his climb of the Eagle, he will continue to support the troop. The Eagle stands as the protector of the weak and helpless. He will comfort the unfortunate and oppressed. He upholds the rights of others while defending his own. He will always do what is right and put forth his best. You are deserving of much credit in having achieved scouting's highest promise. Were your award in humility, ever mindful that the Eagle Scout is always setting an example for others. May the Scout oath and law be your guide for tomorrow and into the future.
Will the honor guard please escort the parents to stand beside their son? We ask that all Eagle Scouts in the audience please come forward and stand behind the candidate. Once you have earned the Eagle Scout Award, you are always an Eagle. These Eagle Scouts have come forward to support the new member of their brotherhood. We will now induct the newest member to the Eagle Brotherhood by asserting the Eagle Pledge and the Eagle Charge.
Please stand and make the Scout sign. Please make the Scout sign and recite the Eagle Pledge after me. I state your name and believe in the Boy Scouts of America.
I, Chris Anderson, believe in the Boy Scouts of America.
As a movement which has
As a movement which has
as its aim and purpose
as its aim and purpose
character building and leadership training.
character building and leadership training.
I believe it to be a movement
I believe it to be a movement
that helps the Scout
that helps the Scout
be master of his own powers,
be master of his own powers,
helps him get along with others,
helps him get along with others,
and develops the basis
and develops a basis
for being a good citizen.
for being a good citizen.
I believe it is my duty
I believe it is my duty
to obey the Scout law and Scout oath.
to obey the Scout law and oath.
I hereby renew my faith in Scouting
I hereby renew my faith in Scouting
and promise to do what I can
and promise to do what I can
in service to others.
in service to others,
In service to other Scouts
in service to other Scouts
who have not come this far
who have not come this far
along the Eagle Trail.
along the Eagle Trail.
And now the Eagle Charge. I charge you to take your citizenship with solemn dedication to be a leader, but only to lead toward the best. To lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the highest level of service to all people and to our Mother Earth. Live and serve so that the people who know you will be inspired by your example, and whatever others may do, you will leave behind a record of which every Scout may be proud. Do you accept this charge?
I do.
Thank you to the Eagle Scouts who have come forward in support of our new Eagle. You may return to your seats. The award of the Eagle Badge is an important and serious event. It is the culmination of efforts of various leaders of the troop and of the Scout himself. The Eagle Award is the highest and most respected in Scouting. Chris, the Boy Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most meaningful and significant movements in the world's history. You have been counted worthy of the highest rank in its membership. All those you know rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as you well know, is one of honor and responsibility. You have assumed a solemn duty to your God, your world, and to humanity. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself, your parents, and to the Boy Scouts. We will now have the Eagle Award presentation. Chris, will you and your parents please stand? Mrs. Anderson, please put the Eagle pin on your son's uniform. Mr. Anderson, please remove your son's troop neckerchief and put the Eagle neckerchief around your son's neck. Chris, please pin your parents' Eagle pins on them. Please present the flowers to your mother. Congratulations, Chris. Please escort your parents back to their seats. We are honored to have Jolena Nana, who will read readings from U.S. Representative Elizabeth Esty.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Hi, Chris. I'm here on behalf of Congresswoman Elizabeth Esty to present a special certificate of congressional recognition to Christopher Anderson upon attainment of rank of Eagle Scout in the Boy Scouts of America. Signed, Elizabeth H. Esty, Member of Congress, this November 4th, 2017. Congratulations, Chris. In addition, I'd also like to recognize his parents, Bonnie and Walter, who were always there and very supportive. I understand there are a lot of pickup, drop-offs, and other things that are needed from the parents. And it's really nice seeing that throughout your many years being a participant of this troop, that you were able to get that support from your friends, family, and your troop members. So congratulations today, and I'd also like to say that may Scout Law guide you, and let today be a recommitment to service for your community. Congratulations.
We are honored to have John Hampton, who brings greetings from the Connecticut General Assembly.
Good evening. It's wonderful to be here this evening. Before I get started, I wanted to acknowledge someone who works very quietly behind the scenes and rarely gets acknowledgement at these ceremonies. But he's like a well-oiled machine. I want to give a shout out to J.J. Licka for all his hard work. He does a wonderful job. And it's always one of my, I was comparing notes with our first selectman. It's one of my favorite things to do is to come to these courts of honor. It's hard to believe I've been coming for 15 years. And I was thinking on the way over that, maybe I could talk to Mr. Carr about an honorary certificate because I only made Scout Scouts. So maybe we could talk about some sort of special program because I never read it. But so thrilled to honor Christopher Anderson, and he comes from a wonderful Simsbury family. The Anderson family I've known for a long time, and they're part of the fabric of Simsbury, what makes Simsbury great. So you should be very proud, as we are as a town, as town leaders, of your achievements and your incredible project at Simsbury Farms. It's really a testament to your talent and strength and dedication. So we're really thrilled for you. But this is only the beginning of great things for you. You've reached the apex of your scouting career, but lots of challenges and opportunities await you, and a lot of responsibilities await you. I was reading a lot lately about President Kennedy as they released some of his assassination files, and I'd like to focus more on his life. And I came across his last speech, which he never gave. He was supposed to give it the day he died in Dallas at the Trade Mart. And it's apt for this occasion. We in this country, in this generation, are by destiny rather than choice the watchmen of the walls of world freedom. We ask, therefore, that we may be worthy of our power and responsibility, that we may exercise our strength with wisdom and restraint, and that we may achieve in our time and for all time the ancient wisdom of peace on earth, goodwill toward men. That must always be our goal, and the righteousness of our cause must always underlie our strength. For it was written long ago, except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. So Christopher, you will be a watchman on the walls of freedom. We rely on that, rely on your leadership. We know you will take your responsibility seriously, and you have up to this point in your life. That you will be a peacemaker and a leader, whatever you decide to do. And you have our prayers and thoughts and good wishes and the whole town of Simsbury behind you. And we can't wait to hear all the successes. Don't forget the little people here in 06070. And we'll remember the day when you're inaugurated president that we were here to witness you become an Eagle Scout. So I have a citation from the Connecticut General Assembly from Senator Whitkos and myself. Be it hereby known to all that the Connecticut General Assembly hereby offers its sincerest congratulations to Sir Christopher Anderson, Boy Scout Troop 76, in recognition of achieving the highest honor available for the Boy Scouts of America, the Eagle Scout Award, for personal qualities that have enabled him to meet the goal that will serve him well in future endeavors. The entire membership extends its very best wishes on this memorable occasion and express hope for continued success. And I present this to you with my very good wishes for all the best. Congratulations.
We are honored to have Lisa Hebner, who brings greetings from the town of Simsbury.
Good evening, everyone. Oh, thank you. On behalf of the Board of Selectmen for the town of Simsbury, it is an honor and privilege to be here with all of you tonight. And Christopher, as you receive your Eagle Scout Award for your years of hard work and service and your project at Simsbury Farms. I've actually heard about it for quite some time from Mr. Toner, and I know he'll be saying a few words more on that, but I've actually been following you for quite some time without you knowing it. And it's good. I and the town of Simsbury congratulate you for this accomplishment and for your commitment throughout the process. I'd also like to thank all of you here today that have helped Christopher along the way. Your parents, your family, mentors, friends, your troop, leaders in this room, actually really all of you in this room. Today you exemplify service to our community and what it means to give back in a meaningful way. Instead of taking the path, the far easier path, of the cynic or the critic, you stepped up to make a difference, and that matters. And our community is better because of you. Not many people can say that. You can say that. In a speech nearly 100 years ago, Teddy Roosevelt in Paris spoke about citizenship. In the long run, success or failure of democratic nations will be conditioned upon the way in which the average man The average woman does his or her duty, first in the ordinary, everyday affairs of life, and next in those great occasional cries which call out for heroic virtues. The average citizen must be a good citizen if our republic is to succeed. The stream will not permanently rise higher than the main source. And the main source of national power and national greatness is found in the average citizen. Therefore, it behooves us to do our best to see that the standard of the average citizen is kept high. Today, you set the standard high as an example to all of us, and you become a part of our nation's greatness. I know that sounds a little grandiose, but it's actually true. Robert F. Kennedy, in his Day of Affirmation speech in South Africa back in 1966, discussed the dangers to the current youth in his generation, a danger that exists even today. He warned of the danger of futility, the belief that there is nothing one man or one woman can do against the world's ills. It's the why bother, it won't change anything mentality. How often do we hear that? Kennedy went on to acknowledge that few will have the greatness to bend history itself, but each of us can work to change a small portion of events, and in the total, all those acts will be written in the history of the generation. Today, you accomplished your aims with the support of your family, friends, your troop, and you are receiving much deserved recognition for your efforts. You have contributed to the history of your generation in a meaningful way. We recognize and celebrate with you and offer our congratulations. There will come a time, however, when you do good deeds and no one will notice. There will be times when you do good deeds and get criticized. Parents are with me on that, right? And there will come a time when you attempt to do a good deed and fail. And all that is okay. Because part of the greatness of this nation is that there are those like you, and so many in this room, who are willing to step up because they know, as you now know, that your efforts are not futile. What you do matters, even if you are criticized for your efforts, even if no one notices, and even if you fail. Teddy Roosevelt said so eloquently, "It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena. His face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. Who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes up short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who at best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, as you know today, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold, timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. And so as your life takes you in many different directions, we know you will be willing to step into the arena, and we look forward to seeing how you continue to answer the charge of the Eagle Scout, striving to do the deeds. And we pray that you, and none of us really, ever succumb to the danger of futility. With that, we offer our congratulations. Before the ceremony, his mom said, this is just ordinary to him, but it is extraordinary to your community. I'm so glad that this ordinary thing has become part of your life, because it is not ordinary, it is extraordinary. Whereas service to the country is the cornerstone of a democratic society, and whereas such service contributes to the development of leadership skills, and whereas attainment of Eagle Scout signifies outstanding potential for future leadership responsibilities, and whereas dedicated leaders are an irreplaceable national resource, now therefore let it be known that we who are gathered at this court of honor for Troop 76, Boy Scouts of America, Simsbury, Connecticut, join in the recognition of the accomplishments of Christopher Anderson and express our admiration and congratulations upon his attainment on November 4, 2017. On behalf of the people of Simsbury, your whole community is behind us. In witness whereof I have placed my hand in the great seal of the town of Simsbury, dated this 20th day of September 2017, Lisa Hagner, first selectman for the town of Simsbury.
We are honored to have Commander Romana, who brings greetings from the veterans of foreign wars post 1926.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. As always, for me and members of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, it is indeed a pleasure to be here with you this evening to celebrate this wonderful event. It never ceases to amaze me and others the number of young men that have come forward or will come forward each year here in Simsbury, having achieved this scouting honor. It is without a doubt a testament to this fine young men and all the difficult and sometimes tedious work that has led to this day of honor, the Eagle Scout Award, the crowning glory to any scouting career. I don't personally know Christopher, but reading about his accomplishments as a scout is amazing. This day is also a testament to all troop leaders, to senior scouts, and most of all the scouts' parents for all the help and support they have provided over the years. The campouts, the hikes, the community involvement, especially community service, are all part of the scouting experience and all culminate in this remarkable event, the Court of Honor for the Eagle Scout Award. The diligence and work ethic to attain this pinnacle of scouting is the same ethics found in the majority of our country's past, present, and hopefully future leaders, and that which we who are or were in the military have found in many of our Medal of Honor winners and recipients over the years, who also as young men were involved in scouting. We look to this young man as our future and trust that he will follow the same road that has brought him here today. For these and many other reasons, on behalf of the members and officers of the Veterans of Foreign Wars, it is my pleasure to present this certificate of achievement to Christopher Anderson, and it reads, Veterans of Foreign Wars Certificate of Recognition awarded to Christopher Anderson for outstanding achievement and exceptional leadership ability, evidenced by his attainment of the rank of Eagle Scouts. Signed on here this day by Veteran of Foreign Wars, my name, John Romano, Commander. Thank you.
Jack Singer will read greetings from Governor Daniel P. Malloy.
On behalf of the state of Connecticut, I, Daniel P. Malloy, Governor, take the utmost pleasure of extending the congratulations to Christopher A. Anderson, Boy Scouts of America, Troop 76, as you are being honored for attaining the rank of Eagle Scout. This is the tremendous distinction that I am certain that you will carry the pride and honor. Commended your perseverance and dedication to the ideals of scouting. Your commitment and drive are inspiration to all Connecticut residents and testament of your strength and determination. You are a fine representative of the state of Connecticut. You're honored to join with your family and friends in recognizing the joystick of this achievement. Therefore, I, Daniel P. Malloy, Governor of the state of Connecticut, do hereby convey honor and
recognition upon Christopher A. Anderson in the state of Connecticut.
Aaron Harris will read greetings from U.S. Senator Christopher Murphy.
Dear Christopher, it is with great pleasure that I congratulate you upon achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. This accomplishment requires an outstanding demonstration of leadership, perseverance, and commitment to serving others. I commend you on the completion of your training and on the development and implementation of a service project. I have no doubt that you will continue to excel as you enter the next phase of your life. You serve as an exceptional example of the capabilities of young people throughout our country and the state of Connecticut. I am proud to represent you as one of my constituents in the U.S. Senate. Congratulations again, and I wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors. Sincerely, Christopher S. Murphy, United States Senator.
Gavin Watt will read greetings from U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal.
Dear Christopher Anderson, I'm writing to congratulate you on the earnings of the rank of Eagle Scout, an honor less than 5% of all Scouts achieve. It is truly an accomplishment of which you, your family, and your fellow Scouts should be proud. From your days of tenderfoot, learning your knots, to earning your first required merit badge, you've displayed the dedication and leadership needed to work your way up the ladder in the ways of Scouting. Eagle Scouts like yourself provide a great service to our community, to our country, and have also become strong leaders in our society. Countless successful Americans, including astronaut Neil Armstrong, former President Gerald Ford, and Defense Secretary Robert Gates, were all Eagle Scouts themselves. I believe your service project, a pure testament of your strong character and commitment to civic engagement, is the most important accomplishment along your path to becoming an Eagle Scout. The Boy Scout motto is be prepared, and as Eagle Scout, you have now prepared yourself with necessary skills to serve your nation with honor and distinction now and into the future. On this special occasion, please accept my warmest wishes. You have an extraordinary bright future ahead of you. Please pass along my sincere congratulations as well as to your Scoutmaster and your family. Sincerely, Richard Blumenthal.
Jacob Hernandez will read greetings from President Donald Trump.
We congratulate you on earning the rank of Eagle Scout. Your hard work, dedication, and sense of service have earned you this recognition as one of our nation's bright young leaders. We hope you continue to draw upon the values you learned as a scout to benefit your community and our country. Young men like you who care about improving our world will give us great hope for America's future. Sincerely, Donald Trump.
Rolf Wieland will read greetings from the Connecticut Rivers Council.
Dear Christopher, on behalf of the Scouts and leaders of the Connecticut River Council, Boy Scouts of America, please accept our warmest congratulations on your attainment of the Eagle Scout Award. As recipient of the Eagle Award, you can take justifiable pride in earning Scouts' highest honor. Your achievement is a credit to you, your family, and many people who have assisted you. You now join a most select group of whom cherish the Eagle Award. The highest ethical standards and leadership skills which you have demonstrated are reflective of the support you have received from your family and scouting and volunteer leaders. Over the years, others will look upon you with the highest esteem. The old saying, once an Eagle Scout, always an Eagle Scout, will be a part of your life, for you symbolize the finest of American youth. Sincerely, Donald Allen, Jr., Sheriff.
Matthew Reed Brown will read greetings from Boy Scouts of America.
Dear Christopher, congratulations, you are now an Eagle Scout. In completing all the requirements, you've mastered many valuable skills and made the Scout Oath and law part of your life. What you've accomplished is impressive. It's also pretty rare. Fewer than 7 out of every 100 Boy Scouts ever achieve this rank. It means you've dedicated yourself, put in hours, and most important, found ways to benefit your community. Remember that your name now appears on the exclusive list whose members have excelled in fields from business to government to education. The common trait you all share is leadership. We're counting on you to aim high and continue leading by your service and example. Again, congratulations and best wishes for many more successes. Sincerely, Brendel L. Stevenson.
Guy Whelan will read greetings from Simsbury High School Principal Andrew O'Brien.
Dear Christopher, please accept my congratulations on this important occasion of earning your distinction as Eagle Scout. Your ability to earn the highest rank in scouting speaks not only to your hard work and dedication, but also to your sense of community. I want you to know that your accomplishments in scouting, though separate and distinct from what you do here, certainly brings pride to Simsbury High School. Teachers, counselors, staff members, and other administrators join me in recognizing you today. We are very proud. Enjoy the ceremony with your friends and family. You have earned your day in the sun. Proudly, Andrew O'Brien.
Many other notable people and organizations recognize the high achievement of Eagle Scouts and have offered their congratulations. A few examples. Coleman, the National Park Service, Office of the Attorney General, Department of the U.S. Air Force, and the U.S. Department of Energy. Mr. Toner, Director of Parks and Rec, will now share a few words.
Thank you very much. I would also like to thank a couple people. Jake, I've had the good fortune to work with over the years on a number of projects for young men just like Chris on their way to becoming an Eagle Scout. And Jay, I know you put in countless hours, and just want to thank you for Boyer, as well as all the adults here who just do a great job with the scouting program and all they do, and particularly those that do achieve the honor of becoming an Eagle Scout. I'd like to congratulate Walt and Bonnie. Just what a great day. And, you know, one of the things that I have seen over the years is that as much as great as the work is that these young men do, they don't do it alone. And it doesn't happen without the support of family, without the support of all of you. I know there's a lot of, all these projects, we always say, you know, how many of these guys are going to get, you know, and under tough circumstances sometimes we get great numbers turn out and support each other. It's a great testament to scouting that, you know, you learn to support each other like that. So, the project that Chris did on the fitness trail is actually called the David Emmett Fitness Trail. It was donated to the town in 1980 by the Emmett family who lost their son. And over the years, we've had numerous Eagle Scouts, or prospective Eagle Scouts, I should say, come up and do projects up there. It's amazing. And I talk periodically with the Emmett family, and they also express their appreciation for this project and others. It means a great deal to us, very visible part of our complex of what we do. And you know, when you go through town, you don't have to go far to see the impact that the community service projects have made on this town. And when I look, you know, when I look through the program, it brings back a lot of memories on great projects, both for the town, you know, for us, you know, our park system, but you know, throughout town. Just a great impact. And it's kind of a common theme tonight, was the impact on the community. And so, Chris, I want to congratulate you on this great honor and the fact you joined an elite group today. I really do. Something to be very, very proud of. You always have this. And I know that this is a start also for you to move on and do many great things. So congratulations.
Scoutmaster Chris Whelan will now offer his remarks.
I'd just like to thank all the previous speakers really quickly. Mine's kind of long, so I won't take a lot of time, but we really are thankful you're here and support our troop. It's very important to us. All of you, really. It's nice to see your faces here instead of just having the Scouts history be led. So thank you. And Walter and Bonnie, congratulations to you, and thank you very much for supporting Chris and having him being able to sit up here with us today. It's just a really great experience. And Walter and Mr. Starrett, out there somewhere I know, we were the three amigos on a Friday night. Most of the time we were out there together. Walter and I became pretty good friends over that, so it was a lot of fun, Walter, and thank you very much. And Bonnie, we're going to miss those sweetbreads in the morning. I wonder if I can taste them now. Just thank you very much for supporting the troop. Really appreciate it. And Chris's grandfather, whom I think is sitting right there, Grandpa Anderson, I'm going to call him. I know he was, and he still is, a very big inspiration for Chris. There are many times when I was talking with Chris, and he told me stories about you. They were all good. Mr. Anderson, his grandfather was an Eagle Scout as well, so he inspired Chris to be up here. And I know you're very proud to see Chris sitting up here. And you guys are not only grandfather and grandson at this point, you are brothers to the Eagles. And that's a special bond that you're going to always have. I'm also very excited to be up here for Chris. I joined the troop with my older son, Guy, 1 year after Chris joined. And I've kind of grown up in this troop with Chris, so I feel like we've done this together. It's been a very good experience for me to see Chris grow up through this troop. From an energetic young lad sitting next to his father, Walter, to becoming a responsible, trusting, and enthusiastic adult leader in this troop. Chris has been a scout his entire life. He started at Cub Scout Pack 76 in town, and he's still going strong. Chris is one of those people that might not be out front all the time calling attention to himself, but he is always there, ready to step in when needed. Actually, the only troop meetings I can really remember Chris not attending, our weekly meetings, are those when he had missing to go to driver's head. And let me tell you, I was glad to be on the other side of town, inside a building, when he was practice driving. Now, Chris also attended almost all of our campouts that we put on, and he always came up on Friday nights. That was his thing. He loved to come up on Friday nights with us, and that's a special privilege we extend to some of our older scouts. But as a younger scout, there's one camp out in particular that I remember, and all the patrol leaders were supposed to be cooking Dutch ovens during that camp out, and Chris was the patrol leader. So it came down to Sunday morning, and our troop, traditionally on Sunday mornings, we kind of like to get up early and clean up and get out of there and go home. Well, it was also winter time, so it was cold, so that even motivated the boys more to get up early and get on the road and get somewhere warm. But they're supposed to be cooking Dutch oven breakfast. And Chris wanted to cook his breakfast. And the other patrol leaders didn't. So Chris kept cooking his breakfast in his Dutch oven. Now, Dutch oven cooking is not it's not very difficult, but you have to have your timing. You really have to pay attention to the timing of it. So Chris started his prep and he started cooking and cooking. Time passed by. More time passed by. It kept cooking, and we were all waiting. But Chris didn't give up. He kept cooking that meal until it was done. And it was very delicious, may I add. But in the meantime, all of the scouts had cleaned up their tents and their camp and packed all their gear, and we were waiting. And they were asking Chris, when's it going to be done? When's it going to be done? So finally it got done, and everything's packed up. It's all put away. But we have to eat this food. So we all dig into our packs, pull out the mess kits, eat the food, and clean up. And that's just a testament to how dedicated Chris is. When he has something in front of him he wants to do, he gets it done. And I think he also learned a little bit about timing at that point. Chris has done and achieved so many things as a scout. He is the brotherhood. He has earned brotherhood in the Order of the Arrow, which is Scouting's National Honor Society. He has held several leadership positions in the troop, all of which he took to heart and dove in and did the best he could. Besides the typical campouts, he'd always go on several of our high adventure campouts. He went on distant campouts like the Gettysburg or Saratoga. But for some reason, his backpack always seemed the heaviest. Every time. And I don't mean a little bit heavy, I mean a lot of it heavy. I could pick that thing up and I'm like, holy cow, that's hard for me to pick up. So one high adventure trip we had was on a long trail in Vermont. Several miles into the hike, we stopped for a break. And I'm standing along with Chris and a couple other scouts. And all of a sudden, I see some junk food, like chips or whatever, kind of coming out of Chris's backpack. I'm thinking, well, that's some good energy food. And then the next thing I see come out is like these bottles of Kool-Aid type drinks. It wasn't just one bottle, it was an entire 6-pack. I just hit myself on the forehead, shook my head, and said, Chris, what do you think? But I'll tell you, the other scouts were very glad to help him lighten up his pack. Now, Chris has also attended every summer camp we've had while he's been in the troop. He's on staff at summer camp now for the last 3 years. And he's been working there at our summer camp home, Camp Manitowoc. And even now as an adult, he's graduated, he's going to school. He comes to every week's meeting. His attendance now, as an adult, and all those years, it's better than most of our active scouts, a lot of our active scouts. That's how dedicated he is to this troop in Scouting. He's leading by example, right here, this gentleman, to all of you gentlemen down here. I have a lot of memories throughout the years with Chris, and most of them involve Chris being outside enjoying life. This is clearly evident by all the outdoor gear that he's amassed and paid for with his own money. He has bought all of his own camping gear almost. He's bought his own tent, he's bought 2 kayaks, 2 bows, shooting bows, and not cheap ones. He's bought his hammock, and along with other miscellaneous gear, all with his own hard-earned money, where other scouts might be buying games or food or some other teenage items. Chris buys outdoor gear. I guess Chris was able to save up all that money, though, because over the last 8 years, the only thing he wears is t-shirts and shorts. And that's year-round. And I'm not joking. I don't think Chris even owns a pair of pants. Right?
Well,
One?
no, I have to wear them to school.
Oh, okay. Did I mention we go camping in the winter? In the snow in single-digit temperatures? Has anyone here ever seen purple skin? That's Chris. I'm going to let you know a little secret. And I asked Chris if this was okay previously. Chris has a stubborn side. And he doesn't take too warmly to changes all the time. And if anybody knows, and I think everybody's heard the idiom, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. Well, with Chris, several of the adult leaders in the troop, many times, had a difficult time leading that, even getting that horse to the water. But I'll tell you though, once Chris decides that he wants to go to the water hole to drink, he doesn't just drink the water. He learns about the water. He watches the water, making sure it's taken care of, and he teaches those who are there on how to use it. It's not long ago that Chris really tested some of us adults, and our frustration level with him was pretty high. But we didn't give up, and he didn't give up. Our faith in Chris was much higher, way up here. And we knew Chris's potential. And Chris, we all knew deep down, once you decided to embrace the scouting principles, you would be a phenomenal scout and a fantastic leader, which you are. At one point in time, during summer camp, when Chris was working there, I'd like to share an experience with you that I had. I knew Chris was working at camp, and I went to visit, so I seeked him out to try to find him, just to say hi and check in and see how he was doing. Now, has anybody had a moment when they know somebody and they have to take a double look at him because when they see him at that time, they think, something's not right, something's changed here. Well, that day was my moment for Chris. I went and so Chris was working in the camp kitchen. It's a very difficult, hot, dirty job in the summer. And I expected to find Chris worn out and a bit sour, actually. But no. He was glowing, smiling from ear to ear. And he was actually talking and telling stories before he didn't talk too much. As a scout leader in the troop, and growing up with Chris, from my perspective, at that moment, that's when Chris turned into a powerhouse scout, a positive role model for scouting in our troop. He changed the direction of his life. And one example I will share with you from summer camp, where Chris works. He works in the shooting sports area. And at shooting sports, the person in charge is very rigid. You have to follow the rules, and for good reason. Everybody needs to be safe there, so you need to listen to the range officer. So it's kind of like Simon Says, you know, the scout, between the scouts and the adult leader. When the range officer says load, you load. When he says shoot, you shoot, and so on and so forth. You have to do exactly what he says when he says do it. Well, for younger scouts and first-time shooters, it can be a very frustrating, intimidating, and stressful time and experience for them to follow all of these directions, pay attention, and concentrate on trying to shoot a target while thinking of all of these things. So off to the side, there's a range officer calling out orders. You have the scouts sitting in front on benches, looking down the field, shooting a gun. And Chris is standing at the back of them, watching the scouts. The truly amazing thing for me to watch, when I sat there off to the side, just watching what was happening. Chris was standing in back, and he was watching all the scouts do what they're supposed to do. He would identify a scout who was frustrated, or he didn't understand something, or needed some help. And no adults telling Chris to go do something or give him a signal, and no scouts calling Chris's name. Chris is just patiently watching. And he would calmly identify that scout, go up to them, get down to their level, because they're sitting down. And not only show them what to do, but he got them to relax. He removed the pressure that they were feeling, and he guided them through the next steps of the exercise. Chris made that scout feel comfortable so that they could continue to shoot and build their self-confidence and move forward on their own. Now that right there is leadership. You're empowering other people. Chris, you are a great example to our younger scouts, to what an Eagle Scout means and should be. One who cares enough to contribute back to the troop and scouting, even as your life unfolds and gets busy with adult tasks. You have challenged yourself, you've worked through some trying times, determined, and never lost sight of the goal you told me when you were in 7th grade, which you probably don't remember. What you told me was, I want to be an Eagle Scout like my grandpa. And you're there, you made it. Continue to be yourself, develop your skills as a leader, challenge others in a positive way, and don't lose that stubborn trait, which I know you won't. It's always important to stand your ground. However, remember, it is equally important to understand and accept when change is needed. So Chris, I want to miss you on Friday nights. We always had such a good time. Life is what you make of it, and I know you're on the right track to making a success for yourself and touching people along the way. So now one last comment, and I'll get down. I want you to all recognize Chris is in shorts. Now, anybody who knows me knows that I'm kind of a more formal person, and there is no event that I would show up at my Class A's in without pants on. But in honor of Chris, I have shorts on.
Scout Chris Anderson will now share his reflections on achieving the Eagle Scout Award.
First, I want to thank everybody for coming. Second, just a few recaps on Mr. Whelan's speech. The Mission Impossible with the breakfast. It may have gotten done on time if I had gotten up when Mr. Whelan had woken me up. But I think it took him a few times for me to actually get out of my tent or actually start packing up my stuff. And second, I can't tell you how many times I had to mow my grandfather's lawn just to purchase those 2 kayaks and those 2 boats. So I want to say thank you to all the adult leaders in the troop. None of this would be possible without you guys, especially Mr. Carr being my scoutmaster for my entire troop time, and then now Mr. Whelan's scoutmaster. I think he's going to do a great job. I want to thank my parents. Definitely none of this would be possible without them. They had to drive me back and forth from the church every single Thursday for the troop meeting. They had to drive me to the church for a camp out, or my father would attend the camp out with me, so thank you guys. So, like Mr. Whelan said, I missed very few troop meetings. Driver's ed, one of them. I think if I was sick, I wouldn't come. And I don't think I've ever really said to my parents, you know what, I don't feel like going this Thursday. I attended just about every single one. And I missed very few campouts. The only ones I really missed were the hiking campouts, which brings me to Philmont. I attended Philmont, and as soon as we got to Philmont, we're talking, and all of a sudden I just say, oh, I hate hiking. And you should have seen the look on everybody in my crew. They just looked at me and they said, you know what we're doing for the next 2 weeks, right? But I didn't go to Philmont for the hiking. I went for the experience and to see the views and everything. Or in my case, to not see the views from Baldy. Those of you who don't know, I got like altitude blindness while we were going up Baldy, so, which I don't know, I can't, it was kind of fun going down, wasn't it, guys? Another one of the campouts I really liked though were the bus trips. Even though a few of them weren't bus trips, we didn't get enough people to rent the bus. But I remember Fort Ticonderoga, that was my first bus trip. And that was one of the ones that was not a bus trip. And then some of the other ones, like Washington, D.C., I can't tell you if I would ever go to Washington, D.C. if it wasn't because of Scouts. I know I haven't been there again since, and I'm not sure if I would go if it wasn't because of Scouts. So that was a great opportunity for me. Just like Gettysburg, even though the government was shut down when we went. And we have a lovely picture of us, all of us with the sign that says no entrance, no, not allowed to go in because the government shut down. We might have went in anyways, but... yeah. And Niagara Falls, that's another one where I don't think I probably would have ever went. Hopefully I will go again, but another one, because of Scouts, I got to go to Niagara Falls. But overall, my favorite camp out, I would say, is the Farmington River trip. And I was very disappointed the one year we decided not to go for the Farmington River trip. I'm not saying that the other camp out that we decided to do wasn't a great one, but I think I prefer the Farmington River trip. And I was the first scout to kayak on the Farmington River trip. I remember being a Weebo with my father in a canoe, because Weebos would canoe with their father, and I didn't see a single kayak. And then the next year I crossed over, and I didn't really have too many friends yet. I do know one of my friends had joined with me, and I didn't really know anybody, so I didn't know like who I was gonna canoe with. So at that point, Mr. Havicourse, Richard's father, was running the camp out, and I remember my father and I talking to him about maybe renting a kayak so I could be by myself since I didn't have a partner. And so I kayaked that year on the river, and the next year, I couldn't count how many kayaks there were. Everybody decided to start kayaking, which is the reason why I actually purchased my 2 kayaks. I only have one of them now, though. I grew out of the other one. And so Camp Manitowoc, that was a huge part of my scouting career. I was a camper for 5 years, and one of those years I was a CIT, and then I was on staff for 3 years. And I think being on staff is a great thing for camp. It's only 6 weeks out of your summer, which kind of is your whole summer, but I think it's a wonderful way to spend your summer. I didn't get the job at camp the first time, and then the second time I applied, I actually didn't get it again. And then 2 weeks into camp, I get an email from Chris Moon saying, we need more help in the kitchen. That's not really where I wanted to be. I wanted to be shooting sports staff. And so I decided, well, it's a good way to like put my foot in the door and get to go into camp. So I did. And Mr. Wheelan-Way said I was smiling. I'm not sure if I was in the kitchen when he talked to me for that. Because the next year I ended up actually being shooting sports staff. And the biggest thing I remember is kids would come up to me and say, you were the one in the kitchen last year, you were never smiling. And if you're not in the kitchen, you actually work with the scouts, but when you're in the kitchen, everybody has to eat, so you get to see every single scout. So it's a great first year on staff job to have, even though it's a lot of work. I think I only woke up at 7 one day a week, and that was Fridays or Saturdays because it was the easiest breakfast because everybody was leaving afterwards. Every other day, I think I woke up at like 5 or something, and we would have to clean up the kitchen every day afterwards, so sometimes it was a little late when we got to bed, but so I was tired every single weekend. I would come home and I would be on the couch and I would fall asleep right away. I don't even know if I had a chance to give them my laundry, but give them my laundry. No, I was too tired. I couldn't do any laundry. But I think those are definitely the biggest memories I'll have after everything's done. Camp, DC trips, and the Farmington River trip, and all of you guys. I can't tell you how many Court of Honors I've sat through, and every single Eagle has mentioned about how they procrastinated during their project. And I always said, no, I'm not going to say that when I'm up here. I turned in my Eagle paperwork 4 days before my 18th birthday. Yeah, I had plenty of time, you know. But I'm going to tell you something. Mr. Jellicoe worked with me so much just to get it done before my 18th birthday. And the paperwork is where it's going to kill you, because you need that perfect to get your Eagle. But I got it done, thankfully, and I finally got my Court of Honor since my board reviews back in June, but I'm thankful. So I'm going to move on to my mentor pin now. The person I'm giving my mentor pin to encouraged everybody to do everything pretty much. He was always doing whatever we were working on, knots, or whatever. He was always doing it with us. And he was, I think, if not more enthusiastic, but at least just as enthusiastic as all the scouts and it was no surprise to me that he is now Scoutmaster of the troop. I'm giving my mentor pin to Mr. Wheeland. And then one last thing, my Eagle Challenge. So I was given the Eagle Challenge from Kiko Kaplan back when I was a first year or second year scout. I can't really remember. But my Eagle Challenge is going to Oliver Shea. Sadly, he couldn't be here, but I think Oliver is going to be a great scout, and he will be a valuable member of our troop and maybe even become an SPL and continue on like me, become an assistant scoutmaster. And I will give my gift to him that he's not allowed to open until after his Eagle Board review at our next troop meeting. Thank you.
Jacob Hernandez will give the closing benediction, followed by taps.
Dear Father in heaven, we thank you for allowing us to be here to witness this special award given to Chris Anderson. We also thank you for allowing many friends and family who have had so much influence on Chris to be here to share in this award. We again ask that you continue to bless Chris, our troop, the Boy Scouts of America, and our country. May each of us serve you in a way that is pleasing to you. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Amen.
Will our newest Eagle Scout and his parents please remain up front for congratulations and greetings. Please join us for refreshments and to sign Chris's Eagle book or banner in Palmer Hall. Thank you all very much for coming. Our Court of Honor is now closed.
I'm actually a territory captain and I'm doing this stuff myself. Cool. I curled up on the couch on Wednesday after I got home from school. I curled up on the couch to take a nap and I was just like, this is like,
Helpful. Friendly. Courteous. Kind.
Obedient.
brave,
Clean.
reverent,
on my honor. On my honor, I'll do my best to do my duty to God. On my honor, I'll do my best to serve my country as I may. On my honor, I'll do my best to do my good turn each day, to keep my body strengthened, to keep my mind awakened.